We're Cassie,
and Emily.
and this is Book Bits and Chill, a podcast where we talk about books, movies, and pop culture the way that you actually experience them.
This show is for type B readers, people who love stories but don't want the pressure, perfection, or the participation trophies.
Hit follow, grab a drink, and let's talk about it. Okay, real quick, before we get into any of the books, Emily, what is spicy to you versus extra spicy?
You know, I've really had to think about this over the years, and I've come to terms with the fact that what's like spicy versus extra spicy is things I'm willing to do in real life and things I'm not.
No! Honestly, that's a very fair distinction. I thought you were going to come forward with something way more unhinged.
No,
But here's the thing. How much are you willing to do in real life?
Exactly.
That's the real question.
It's like when you're like, oh, I could totally be that badass FMC in all of these like amazing epic books. And then you sit down with yourself and you're like, actually, no, I'm not. So am I willing to go into that fourth floor sex dungeon? I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fair. But honestly, we'll get into this because I just have so many follow-ups. But that, again, that's a good distinction. So if you guys couldn't already tell, we're going to be dishing out our guide to a summer romance today.
Ooh, and never fear, if you're not at our level of spicy, that's okay because we'll have a spicy romance rec for everybody.
That's right. This is your a la carte menu for everything that you could possibly need as it relates to summer romance, spicy, extra spicy, and what we're going to call Emily spicy, honestly. We're going entry, intermediate, and expert, and we'll have 4 books per tier, 12 books total, and we'll be ranking them by pepper count.
And while you're listening, you might think, hey, those books don't all sound like summertime, but you just wait because we have an explanation.
That's right. Okay, let's start out with our entry tier. And this tier, we're calling it like a half a pepper to a full pepper of spice.
Right. Like it's more romance than spice. Like it's definitely a romantic plot with some spicy scenes needed for the couple.
For the benefit of the couple. This might be like maybe 1.5 scenes where they're getting some sexy time, and that's pretty much it.
Right, like they have their one big moment.
Exactly. So we're going to start out with the classic, a heavy hitter. This is a comfort rom-com, and that is Funny Story by Emily Henry. So this is actually my favorite Emily Henry, by the way. So just know,
that's big ups.
Spice doesn't make a summer romance book, okay? So this book follows Daphne and Miles, and they basically both get dumped and end up moving in together and fake dating to make their exes jealous. And spoiler alert, they fall in love in a very cute way.
Who would ever know?
Oh, who would ever guess? It's set on a lake town in Michigan. There's so many vibes. This guy's he works at a winery. Like, it's just amazing. Daphne's a librarian. Like, it's just good stuff. So this is really something that I would hand someone who is like, I'm about to go on vacation. I have no time to really like pay attention to a book, but I want something easy. I would immediately hand them this book.
And what kind of spice are we getting in this book? It's just like that one big climactic scene.
There's a couple, I would say. Yeah, I would say there's like 2 solid ones, but there's just a lot of buildup because it's very much a like Grumpy Sunshine setup between the 2 of them. I don't know. It's more towards the end in like classic Emily Henry style, but the payoff is great. So what would you pull out if you needed something easy for someone?
Similar to what you were saying, like this book is very PG-13. It's very closed door, fade to black. Passionate scenes. And so this would be Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I mean, this book screams summer. We are in Sicily on vacation, but we are there with our brother's best friend. We're talking age gap romance of 15 years, which just sets the spice for you from the beginning.
That's right. This honestly is a book that I think that everyone should read on vacation. Like, it's funny story. You could read it in your home and just enjoy the vibes at summertime, whatever. But like some Problematic Summer Romance literally made me want to book a flight as I was reading it in my home.
Yeah. And it is very like full clothes on during a lot of like feeling up,
Yeah.
like not hitting a home run, but doing all the bases until like the final 2 chapters.
Yeah, but honestly, you don't get as much of the spice, but you get so much amazing banter. The
Yeah.
romance between them is incredible. That I think a lot of times in these types of books, you end up like either not loving the FMC or the MMC. Like there's definitely like a lead character, and
Yeah.
literally both of the characters were incredible on their own. Like I didn't get annoyed of either of them the entire
Yeah,
time.
Connor is so hot. Maya is cool. Like she's such a vibe. I
Yeah.
wanted to be her.
No, I wanted
And
to literally be friends with her.
not just to be with Connor in the grotto dry humping.
And look her on out. Emily will never get over that scene. I think she will literally be on her deathbed talking about the grotto. So yeah, I think this one is a great one if you're like looking for like a escapism book. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. But yeah, it's not
Yes.
like true Allie Hazelwood spice, which we'll get into later. Okay, next one is a classic again. One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. This one
Mm.
is one that I would say, like, if you're going to the beach and you are literally spending the entire day there and you just want to read and nap and get in the water and repeat, this is such a
Ooh.
good book for that. So, this book follows Alice and Charlie. It's set in Barry's Bay, which is a lake town in British Columbia. And it's the follow up to Every Summer After, which is about Sam and Percy. And so Charlie's Sam's older brother. So if you have not read Every Summer After, you would be totally fine reading this, but just know that
Oh.
you will be learning about some characters. And this one is such a good romance because it follows these two people in their early 30s who are still figuring their stuff out for sure, but like know what they want from a relationship, know themselves, all of these things. And so you
Ooh.
just get this very mature romance out of the two of them.
I
It's
was not
really good.
expecting that because isn't the
Yeah,
first book like young kids?
it is. It's like very much a coming of age romance where they like fall in love when they're like 14 and then they have a second chance when they're older. So this one is so good. Oh my God, it is an unbelievable follow-up. The spice I would say is closer to like I would give it one pepper. Like
Okay.
there were scenes that were like flashed throughout the basically middle through the end, I would say. And they build up to kind of like the big moment. Like they're not like immediately going to third base, but you get a lot in there. And again, the banter in this book was just top tier. Like the romance was just delicious. So you'll get
I
everything you want out of this.
I feel like if I was on like a pontoon boat in a lake, I would absolutely be reading that book.
For sure. Are you ever reading on a pontoon boat?
We can all be dreamers, Cassie, okay?
If we're dreaming, like, why not be on a yacht? Like, why are you on a pontoon?
I'm a realistic dreamer. You know what dream I also have is to
Mm.
be on a ranch with a cowboy.
Yeah. Okay, so to fulfill this dream, you could honestly read this book. It's called Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. And
Oh,
this book, honestly, I had never read a Lila Sage before I read this book. And I am so glad I started here. Like, it was so good. It follows Cam and Dusty, and it's a second chance romance, which I feel like second chance is like really having a revival right now. Like,
yeah.
I feel like I keep reading it and it's just so fun. But it's set in Wyoming and it follows Cam, the FMC, who gets left on her wedding day, just completely ditched, and Dusty, her ex-boyfriend,
Dusty
who
is such a bad name.
he was such a bad boy though. He was like literally a cowboy in like a leather jacket basically. And he like comes to the rescue, helps her get back on her feet, all of these things. And this one I would say is such a summer book because it's like I don't even remember what the season was, but I remember reading it last summer and being like, to your point, wow, put me on
Get
a
me on
ranch tomorrow.
get me on horseback. Do they ever go horseback riding together?
No. Get me on horseback.
Get me on horseback.
This one I would definitely give like a half a pepper though.
This book is part of a series, right?
It is, yeah. And this one is the last one in the series.
But you can read
Which
them
I
all separately.
Yeah, to me, with these romance series, like with contemporary romance series, I truly think they do such a good job of explaining who all the characters are that might have had other books or will in the future or
Yeah.
whatever. Uh,
And the series, is it called Rebel Blue Ranch series?
yes.
I feel like when I hear people talk about it online, they're like, it's so spicy.
No, I don't recall it being that spicy. So honestly, this could be where, maybe
Yeah.
I'm on the Emily Spice train over here, apparently.
Maybe
I don't know.
this is too normal for you. This is too gray.
I've normalized this level of spice. Honestly, I think where I have normalized myself is at this intermediate level that we're about to get into.
When we're talking intermediate level, this is like 2 to 3 chili peppers. And
Yep.
think more of this where like the romance and the spice are in like tandem. They're very even. One comes
Yep.
with the other. It's a smooth flow.
Yes.
And recently, Cassie recommended this book to me, and I don't normally take her recommendations before a year's time. But she was like, this is a summer book. You have to read it. And I am so glad I picked it up. Along Came a More by Alexis Daria.
That's
Now,
right. Oh, so
this
good.
book is a school teacher falls in love with a hotel billionaire, and they take this trip to Puerto Rico. Cue my favorite song of the year.
I cannot.
And that is kind of where their romance starts to get like really steamy. And at first, you think it's gonna be like a one chili pepper book, but then once that the romance like finally kicks off on this summer vacay, it gets
Mm.
pretty wild. It's pretty graphic.
I was shocked when Emily was like, "Where is the spice?" Because the first spicy scene is like chapter 3 of the book. Literally
Okay,
within the first 50 pages.
but they're doing like normal stuff at this point. Like, they're just like hooking up like one night stand things in a bed.
Bad.
And then they go
God
on
forbid.
vacation. Things are happening in the shower. There's toys involved. We're in the ocean without our clothes on. Like, that's where you start being like, okay, some people are really not into that. Some people will not be found skinny dipping in public.
No, 100%. I think my only gripe with this one, and we need to call that out, is that it's fairly long.
Yes, it
So
is.
it was, I think, just under 500 pages, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's long. So I think when you're going into it, this isn't just a like, I'm going to the beach and I'm going to sit down and read this in one sitting. This is a like, your multiple days getting back to this. But honestly, it's worth it. It's so fun.
It would be so good if you're like, in the summer at home, you have no vacations on your horizon and you need to be
Yeah.
blasted to a new location in your mind. Like that's how I
Yeah.
felt when I was I'm in my air conditioned home at 66 degrees and Roman is keeping me warm.
Whoa, baby. One other one that I wouldn't call an escapism book, but this one definitely is like a guilty pleasure. Like there's people that are on both sides of the house on this book, and it
Okay.
is Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. Some people
Oh!
love it, some people hate it. I loved it.
All
I
I
could
ever hear
not
about
get
this
enough.
all I ever hear about this book is the anal play. Am I allowed to say that on camera? Anal play?
I don't know. You just went for that in such a wild way.
That is how I feel about this book, though. Like, and that's why it's definitely in the intermediate level because my eyes bugged out of my head a little bit when I heard about it.
Literally, I think I told Emily like 6 separate things about this book. That was like maybe one of them, and she has not let go. That
So
is
tell
the
us what it's
entire book.
about. Tell us
It's
what it's
about
actually about.
2 Olympic divers, Scarlett and Lucas, and they are at Stanford. And so actually Scarlett is a swimmer and or she's a diver, Lucas is a swimmer. And Lucas is from I think the Netherlands potentially. I'm going to
Mm.
completely botch that, but he is European and he is here for the swimming. And they basically end up bonding over the fact that Lucas is dating one of Scarlett's really good friends on her diving team, they break up because Scarlett's really good friend is not into the kinky things that Lucas is into. But spoiler, Scarlett is. So they end up coming up with an agreement to come together under one united nation of kinky. And you know what? They end up falling in love. And it's actually a really nice little romance because the
Yeah.
way that Scarlett's brain works and the way that Lucas's like emotional intelligence shows up, it's just like, it's a real, you know, those stories about women who are just like super over functioning, brilliant minds,
Yeah.
over controlling, all of those things, who just need a guy to come in and be like, I got it. We're good. You're taken care of. Like,
Yeah.
this was very much that vibe.
And any Allie Hazelwood is good in the summer, but especially swimming. Like, I don't want to read about swimming in the winter.
Yeah.
Any, like, submerging my body in water in winter, no.
No, absolutely not. Don't give me that.
So for this one, I feel like this is definitely a little bit spicier than Along Came a More. Like, I'm
For
thinking
sure.
3 chili peppers.
And in true Allie Hazelwood fashion, again, there's top tier banter. It's really sharp. It's like really smart. Both characters are incredibly intelligent. So it was just like a very good, balanced romance versus the spice, versus it being
Yeah.
just spice the entire time.
And sometimes when we are in the summer, we've got our beach read, our escapism, we're in the pool, we're sunbathing, and I'm like, I'm over this. Like,
Yeah.
literally get me to freaking Halloween.
Yeah,
And
totally.
that
Totally.
is when I am like ready for a romantasy book and maybe one with a
Yeah.
little bit of spice.
Just a tinge.
Maybe an intermediate level, one might say. And with that, I know that last summer we both read Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout.
Two
Hey,
summers ago.
2 summers ago, we are not the biggest JLA fans. We're not
No.
out here telling you to read all of her books, but this
No.
one I think is worth it.
Agreed. I actually need her to put out a sequel to this book, like genuinely.
Yeah.
This was one of the only JLA books that Emily and I both read. We both read From Blood and Ash, loved it. Obviously, the rest of that series, goodbye. We
Tush.
both read
Shadow in the Ember. Let me
Shadow
help
in
you.
the Ember. We both read Shadow in the Ember. Similar. First book, fine. The rest of the series, nah. And then
Yeah.
we read this book, and it was so good. Like, the
Yeah.
pacing was perfect. The MMC and the FMC and their romance was great. Like, she kind of followed her standard, like, this maiden is in a tower and hasn't seen the light
Yeah.
of day. And then there's like this broody man. But it was done in a very unique way that was just like, I don't know. I was so into it. And we read it like
Yeah.
in the thick of summer.
The FMC is a courtesan, and
The
she's not like,
courtesan.
she kind of is a forced courtesan, but at the same time, she's not. Like, she's like okay with it. She's down with the
Yeah.
vibe. She knows what her job is in this
Yeah.
world. But then there's a lot of like, she's doing stuff on other men while the MMC is watching, and then he's like into it, and she's
Yeah.
like, keep going. Like, I'm getting off on this. Like, there's a lot of like exhibitionism going on.
Yeah. I forgot
And
about that.
yeah, and I think that that's where we're getting like into the intermediate level, because there's
Yeah.
definitely scenes that are just like regular, they're in the room. Oh, they stay up all night. They've done it 7 times, like kind
Yeah.
of thing. But the exhibitionism in this one was wow. It was wow.
Wow. Okay. I totally forgot about that. I
Yeah.
need to reread that book. It was actually such a quick read, too. I think we literally read it in like 36 hours, maybe.
Yeah. So if you need a little break from the summer beach reads, you're tired of sand in your butt cheeks, try that one out.
Okay, so here's one. If you and your book club are like, we all want to read a romance this summer, but we need
Yeah.
something that we can talk about. I just read this book this month, and it is literally perfect to read with your book club if you can handle the spice. And it
Yeah,
is
that's
called,
the thing.
yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
the thing. Can they handle it? That is the thing. This
Please.
is why you need this.
Just
episode.
play Emily saying that to your book club when you bring this to them. Can they handle it? Oh my my God. So if they can handle it, if they're knowingly signing up for an intermediate level book, you need to read Games, a love story. And it's by Anna Maria Volkova. And it follows Lily, who's a 23, 22 or 23-year-old econ grad student. And she meets a man named Alexander, who is a much older Wall Street banker, CEO, hedge fund, whatever in New York. Basically, he is bloated. And they
Loaded. And that is all I need to know.
stop right there.
I already know he's
But
going to perform in the bedroom.
it's not correct. It's not your like shallow billionaire romance, which I feel like a lot of those like get that bad. It gets a really bad rap, I think, in general in the genre, but this is not that. Like, it's actually unbelievably intelligent. Like, they both are so emotionally intelligent, aware, but they like are on complete opposite ends of the aisle. She's like unbelievably liberal. He is pretty conservative. He's Russian. He
Oh.
comes from
Oh.
a very traumatized background growing up in Russia. He gets out. He gets his friend out. He lives the American dream where he like climbs the corporate ladder and does his own thing. She is an orphan. Her parents died when they were younger, and so she has that trauma that she's coming from. And then
Mm.
obviously it's an age gap romance, so there's that whole dynamic. But there is you need to read the trigger warnings before you read this because there is a lot of elements of BDSM
Okay.
and there's things that come along with that that might trigger some people. But there
So
are
you think this is only 2 to 3 chili peppers?
yeah.
Okay. Can your book club handle it? Read the trigger warnings, listen to this full episode, and decide if your book club can handle this.
It's honestly, you will have nonstop things to talk about. I had to message like 4 of our followers that had read this book after I read it because I was like, I need to discuss this right now.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sold. You know, that kind of does segue into our expert level because there is something about the expert tier of spicy romance where we're talking 4+ chili peppers. You're a little bit disgusted by what's happening, and there's oftentimes quite a bit of BDSM.
That's right. And these are books that you're not going out in public, baby. Like these are like
No.
you are just in the summer, you're feeling fun, you're having a hot girl summer literally with yourself. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna read this spicy book in bed and do whatever you do. So this first recommendation is very in line with what Emily said of like if you are one of those freaky people who likes to get some weird spooky vibes in the summer, this book is perfect. And it's another romantasy, but it's a standalone, which is really nice. And so
Yeah.
it's The Poisoned Daughter by Sheila Masterson. This book is unhinged. It is literally one of those books where you are going to be like, my jaw's on the floor and I cannot look away. I
Yes.
cannot stop reading this.
Do you know what they actually called the spice in this book?
What?
Primal play.
Oh, I understand that, and I would agree. So this book follows Harlow, who is a princess, but she has a dirty little magical secret in that she has these powers to be able to essentially like conjure up poison through her body, and it's through her lips. And so if she's kissing you, she's basically giving you the kiss of death. And so the kiss of death. So she has very deep trauma. And so her entire thing is that she is trying to save her city from the bad men that are there. And so she essentially like lures them in with her beauty and her grace. And then she gives them like the kiss of death. Enter Henry, who is the prince of a rival kingdom or a neighboring kingdom. They end up having an arranged marriage to forge a bond between their two kingdoms. Craziness ensues. Like, I literally
Yeah.
can't tell you much more beyond that.
But the thing is that, like, you kind of think, like, oh, this is just another romantasy book. Like, again, like the maiden and the special magic or whatever. But then the sex scenes start.
Yeah.
And
And then
you're
you're like,
like,
"Ooh,
whoa.
That's primal
again,
play.
yeah, it's a woman who, like, needs to let go. She's always in control, kind of
Yeah.
high functioning anxiety. She needs to let go. Henry teaches her how to let go.
Yeah.
There's orgies, there's exhibitionism, there's biting, there's a lot going on. And I don't know that you're going to find me in the forest doing these things.
Let's hope not. I would like to talk about that really quick because it's feeling like there's this emerging trope in these romance books, particularly in these very spicy romance books, where the woman is, again, this like over functioning, highly intelligent person who's had to like fend for herself for however long.
Yeah.
And she just wants a man to just completely take control.
Yeah,
And then he
because
does.
in the bedroom.
Wait,
I
I'm
think
like, what is this trope? And I love it. But like, what is it?
I think because that is the modern woman. We are all
Yeah.
doing so much. Like, gone is the
Yeah.
day when women just had their one role. We literally have like 7 different roles in our day to
Correct.
day. And
Correct.
we need to be able to close that door. Maybe sometimes you're not closing the door based off these
Maybe.
recommendations.
Maybe not.
And
No,
just go
that's
to
true.
another place in our minds.
That's true. That is true. Maybe a lot of this is in response to the collective decision fatigue that we are all facing as women.
Yeah.
And we just need someone to step in and just, make those
Take
decisions for
control.
us. Not in a forest.
So I would say that I would not recommend that book to just like anybody. Like I need to
No.
know that that person is like ready to look me in the eye afterwards after reading the book.
You have to love romantasy, first of all. And then second of all, you have to be down with some interesting stuff for sure.
Yeah.
You have to go in eyes wide open.
100%. And so we were just talking about the modern woman, but there was this really popular time and place for erotica like
Yeah.
10 years ago. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about like back in 2014, Emily, me, was reading
Mm.
about 200 to 250 erotica books that I could get my hands on. Back then, we weren't really like so into this whole woman empowerment thing. And so I just need to like preface that, okay?
You know what? Not everything has to be the modern woman. That's okay. You
So
got
we're
this.
in 2014. I pick up a book called Backstage Pass Sinners on Tour
Whoa!
by Olivia
Pulitzer
Pye.
Prize winner.
This is about a rock star band, and every book is a different member of the band and who, like, the woman they fall in love with. And it's always like this unsuspecting woman that ends up with the band either through like PR or being at a show or she was hired for something. And you would think like, oh, okay, just like a nice romance, like she's involved with the lead singer. No, because
Oh.
the other band members always get involved at some point in time.
Oh no.
You're on the tour bus. They're all sleeping on the same bus. The bunk beds are there. Oh, one of them slips in where you least expected it.
I feel like that word choice is intentional.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
There's
Wow.
typically 2 men involved. You're trying things you've never tried before. You're kind of liking it. Your mind is blown, but then,
Wow. Wow.
you only keep the romantic feelings to the one man.
Why do I feel like people who are obsessed with One Direction would literally eat this book up?
I can't put that on Harry Styles. I really can't.
I don't know. I don't know. All I'm saying is I think that fandom has had this exact fantasy time and time again.
But think like you're at like a hard rock like concert. You're in your outdoor venue. It's 95 degrees outside. You have your tank and your little jean shorts on. You're in the crowd. The singer spots you and points at you. The band manager comes down and he's like, "You backstage now."
Wow.
And so I don't know if
crowd goes wild.
I don't know if that's happening at One Direction concerts.
It could. It could. Let's ask
And
a
I don't
fan.
know if the man slipping in your back door is happening at the One Direction concert.
It could.
But I am telling you that these books, when we're talking about like expert level, like, it's mostly spice. Like, the
Right.
romance is, like, an underlying story where it's like, they just had to add that in so that these people weren't calling the feds.
It's probably like insta love realistically, or like a
Yeah,
weird enemies to lovers where they're like enemies for 4 pages and then they just become lovers the rest of the time. So
exactly, because
100%.
we gotta get the motion in the ocean started.
Correct. So the next one is a similar cowboy pick to what Em was saying earlier, but this one is far spicier. And it's called
Mm.
Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose. And this one, I would say, is like every possible trope that you could imagine within like an age gap romance in one book.
So
And with
true.
cowboys on a ranch. And that's
Yes.
literally it. So it follows a woman, I can't remember her name. She's a vet in training, and she ends up being snowed in with the father of her ex-boyfriend. And
Yeah.
of course, there's a pull between the two of them that she never felt with his son. And it is ridiculous. Truly, you will read this and like be laughing out loud at a lot of parts. But honestly, the spice is so fun. Like it is just like a genuine good time.
Yeah, we
And
were, like, giggling and laughing the whole time we were reading it.
yeah, and it's like a very fun, like, oh my God, I just like need something like sexy to read that like I don't need to take very seriously. And this is
Yeah.
honestly a perfect one. And if you love cowboys and you love an age gap romance, it's amazing. And it's short and sweet, which is good.
But for me, like, always getting with the ex-boyfriend's dad always puts things into expert level for me because that is just, like,
Totally.
a topic I'm not ready to breach.
No. I think most of us here on this earth are not ready for that.
And there's always, like, a few daddies thrown in, and you're like,
There
"Oh!"
were
Like, and you get a little gasp.
there were a lot of daddies in this one, so prepare yourself for that because holy cow.
And they really explore every crevice of each other, and I really feel like the way the writer writes it, you're hearing the sounds of the
Oh
actions.
God. I can't go back to that.
But it was so fun to read. Like, I
It
literally
was.
ate this book up.
It was. If you have a friend who reads similar books to you in this expert level, who you've like shared all your dirty secrets with, you should totally read it together because it's
Yeah.
hilarious to talk about too.
Okay, but I do think we have to end these recommendations on
Yeah.
one that is a very perfect summer spicy expert level book. And
All
I am
right.
talking about a book that you're going to think you know what it is, but you don't actually. It is called In Flight by R.K. Lilly, and it is part of the Up in the Air series. Might sound
Okay.
familiar. Sounds really familiar to the very popular Mile High series by Liz
Yeah.
40. But
Yeah.
no, honey. This was
No.
written 10 years ago,
That's
and
right.
she actually did it first.
That's
We
right. We
are
love that.
talking a first class flight attendant on a private jet, billionaire alone on private jet, spots her.
Whoa.
Immediately, they're like sexually charged. We're into each other. Again,
Crazy.
a high functioning woman. She's like, I have been fighting my whole life for this job. I finally
Yeah.
got it. I worked my way here, and like nobody's gonna ruin that for me. And he's like,
Have
well,
sex with this man.
you haven't met me yet. And so they start this like really spicy like love affair.
Yeah.
And the thing that is so crazy about this book is it's very like 50 Shades of Grey. This man has an entire floor of his house that is specific to his BDSM needs.
Whoa. Christian
When
Grey.
when we're talking sex dungeons, you're in the expert level.
Yeah, 100%. When there's separate rooms for what you're doing, then you're an expert level.
Like, definitely read the trigger warnings on this one, but like, who doesn't love like the idea of getting on a flight, falling in love with somebody, and having a summer romance?
Who? Name yourself.
Name yourself, because that is my idea of fun every summer. Is the BDSM chamber my idea of fun? I don't know, but this book, was my idea of fun.
That's right. If you randomly have a fantasy of this, read this book because it sounds like it will bring it all to life and then some, maybe in
Yeah.
ways that you did not expect. Wow. Well, quick recap entry tier if you want the safest bet, our comfort rom com funny story. If you want one sitting beach read, go One Golden Summer.
And if you're going intermediate, like you want a little extra spice in your life, we are reading Games, a Love Story for our book club pick, or Fall of Ruin and Wrath to celebrate your summer ween.
And expert, you spicy little minx.
You
Backstage
dirty
pass
girls.
for the throwback guilty pleasure, heat wave energy, or in flight if you want to have the mile high debate with us.
I am telling you, girls, you have got to try one of these books and come back to us. You are not going to regret it. And you know what? You're also not going to regret seeing the Odyssey this weekend and lusting over Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, all on my screen at one
Oh
time.
my God, all-star cast. Wow. And we will see you next weekend for a full debrief on the movie, the difference from the actual Odyssey by Homer, and all of our thoughts on all of the things because you know we're about to have some hot reactions. So come back. In the meantime, we'll see you same time, same place. Grab your blankets, grab your book boyfriends. We'll see you then.
See ya.